I'm going to show you the easiest chicken tamales I make. I'm using store-bought, ready-made masa, roasted green salsa. I'm also going to be fire roasting poblano peppers for the perfect chicken tamal. This is going to be good. I'm going to make this chicken in the slow cooker. This is around 5 to 6 pounds of chicken, bone-in chicken legs, and 2 chicken breasts. And I'm just going to season it with onion powder, garlic, salt, pepper into this 6-quart slow cooker. And I'm just going to add some chicken bouillon powder. Season your chicken how you prefer. And a little more of that garlic, salt, pepper. I added no liquid. I'm going to cover with a lid, set it to high, and let it cook for about 3 to 4 hours or until it's cooked through and tender. I didn't even stir this. I just left as is, and it's done. And I want to show you, at the bottom of the slow cooker, all of the natural juices and liquid that renders out of this chicken. It's so good. So I made this the night before and stored it in the fridge after it cooled. Okay, now it's the next day. By the way, you could do this the same day. I'm working with tomatillos, half of an onion, a jalapeno pepper, and 2 cloves of garlic. Here I have 5 poblano peppers that I'm also going to roast. So I'm going to prep these on baking sheets. I preheated my oven to 475 degrees Fahrenheit and it's going in for about 20 minutes. The corn husks. I am going to remove these from the bag. This is a 1-pound bag, and I suggest you separate them and rinse well because there's a lot of debris that comes with these. So I know it's tedious work, but well worth it. Or if you want the extra protein because nature, then leave as is. Look at that. So I've rinsed all of my corn husks into a pot. I'm going to fill that with water, and you'll just kind of want to submerge as best as possible. I am going to cover this with a lid. And I'm going to bring the pot up to a boil, let it simmer for maybe 30 minutes, shut off the heat, and let it steep until softened. Okay, so I'm going to flip the poblanos. As you can see, they're starting to char and blister, and I'm probably going to remove the roasted tomatillos, onion, jalapeno, and garlic. And my kitchen smells amazing. By the way, for those of you that want pork tamales, beef tamales, or the red tamales, I will put a link for those in the description below. Okay, so once they're done, just remove from the oven. For the poblano peppers, I'm going to place them in a glass bowl, cover with cling film, and let them kind of cool, sweat in the bowl for about 15 to 20 minutes. It'll be a lot easier to handle these and peel all of that charred skin. If you leave the skin on, it's so tough and fibrous, it's hard to chew through. So that's why you want to remove it. Okay, salsa going into the blender cup. I am not adding any liquid to this, by the way. A little bit of chicken bouillon to taste, a pinch of salt or a little bit of salt, and puree well. So yesterday I cooked all that chicken in the slow cooker. So here I have my mom just shredding it, and I'm keeping in all of that cooled broth and congealed goodness. Okay, so this is what I ended up with, going into a pan or a pot to bring back up to temperature or to heat this through. And you'll want to season this to your taste. If you want ground cumin, if you want to add a pureed chili sauce like the red guajillo chiles with garlic and onion, it really is up to you. But I'm going to season with chicken bouillon, salt to taste, and I think it's going to be good to go for what I'm doing today. Here, I already let my chile poblanos sweat, so look how easy it is to peel. And then just remove the stem and seeds. And what I'm going to do is cut these into strips. Rajas is what we call them. That's going into some of my chicken tamales. And these are steeped, softened, and ready to go. I'm going to remove them from the pot. And here's the salsa going into part of the chicken. I did half chicken with the salsa verde, and I'm going to leave the other half just seasoned and plain. Here I'm using a 5-pound bag of masa preparada. This already has like lard seasoning. You can see it's very moisturized. It probably has broth and salt and seasoned. I'm going to doctor it up with a little bit of lard, maybe 3 to 4 ounces. Some salt goes in, and I'm going to just start mixing this by hand. You can add a little bit of baking powder into the mix, but I'm just going to combine this and just kind of whip it, move it around, and this masa is ready. It's prepared masa, just ready from the store. You can doctor it up, and this is the easiest part. It's all done. Okay, so the corn husk has a smooth and a rough side. You want to spread the masa on the smooth side, and it kind of curls in a bowl shape. That's another indication that it could be the smooth side. So about 2 tablespoons of masa, and just spread that as evenly as possible. There's so many gadgets and hacks and ways to spread masa. Use the one that you like best. I'm using a wooden spoon, and that's that. Okay, so this is ready. I'm going to add my chicken, and I'm going to do the chicken tamales 2 ways. This salsa verde chicken, and the other one, like I said, rajas con queso. And I'll show you how I do those next. So then you fold it over and fold the other side over. And then on the seam side, you fold it up. A lot of people like to tie these to secure them. Just fold it up. It always works once you stack it in the pot. But there you go. First one done. Easy. And there's a couple of things that you have to pay attention to. For example, when you are filling the tamal, don't overstuff it where it can't enclose, because then it'll break apart when you go to unwrap it. Also, maybe leave some room at the top because the masa will cook through and kind of push the filling out. So there's that. Okay, now for the other one. Here's the other half of the chicken. It's just seasoned chicken, the poblano peppers, and this is Oaxaca cheese. I am going to make chicken, cheese, and poblano pepper chicken tamales. So I'm just going to do the same thing, spread the masa on the smooth side. And like I said, if you have a local grocery store that will sell masa preparada, that really is the way to go when you want something quick when it comes to tamales. Okay, so now some chicken goes in. This is seasoned, tender chicken that I shredded. The cheese. If you can't find Oaxaca, use mozzarella. It works. I'm not judging. And the poblano peppers go on, and then you do the same thing. Just fold it. And you don't want to fold it too tight. If you wrap it really tight, it will come out of the top, seam side up, fold up, and then that's your tamal, just like that. And see, there's room on the top, so it should be fine when you go to cook it. Okay, another one. Chicken, the cheese, the roasted poblano peppers, which taste and smell amazing. These are some of my favorite tamales, the chicken tamales, so good. Even if I didn't have chicken, the cheese with roasted poblano peppers are so good. Give that a wrap. On the seam, you fold up, and that's ready. In the bottom of my steamer pot, I'm going to fill it up with water. And actually, this pot is for dumplings. I'm going to use it for tamales today. So put that little plate on the bottom and a little bowl in the center, and I'm going to stack this level of the steamer pot with my tamales. And you kind of just go around in a circle. And my paternal grandmother would put coins to make sure the water was there boiling and steaming. I'm going to cover this with corn husks, or a tea cloth works, because that will prevent condensation from going back into the tamal. Cover with a lid. I have a 3-tier steamer pot, and I'm going to turn the heat on, bring the water to a boil, and let it cook for about an hour and a half. Or at least at an hour and a half, you'll want to check the tamal to see if it's cooked through. And I'll show you what that looks like. I also want to mention that cook time does vary. It just depends how tightly you pack the pot, how much room, and how hard the boil is going. So there's a lot of variables that affect the cook time. Okay, so let's test to see if they are cooked through, and I'll show you what to look for. So I'm going to carefully remove one and just peel back the corn husks. And I'm going to take one. And if it's too mushy and soft, that's an indication that it needs to cook longer. But you don't want it super stiff because then it might overcook. But I'm going to take one and I'll show you. When you open the husk, if it gets too sticky and soft, it needs to cook longer. If it peels away and slides out easily, then it's done. So this definitely needs to cook longer. It broke apart. It's still soft. So I'm going to put that back in. But after another 15 to 20 minutes, this is the result. Perfect. Just like that. And that's when you know they're done. I'm going to remove all of these from this steamer pot carefully. And it's always a good idea to just stack them on a baking sheet or take them out and let them set for about 15 minutes just to set up. That does help when you go to serve and peel them away from the corn husk. Just like this. And these came out so tender and delicious. I already tried one. They're so good. Look at that. So be sure to check the description below for other tamales recipes because they are so good. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.